I used to work for the Mayor of London. I worked at something called the London Development Agency and then the GLA. My background's in economic development and regeneration.
You are not going to solve the housing crisis in London by just trying to build more homes within this system. The big developers won't want to do it. They have no incentive to. The investors won't. The investors are after big money-making schemes. You do it through changing the way that system works.
But it really is a bit like 1 minute to midnight, and really urgent to take it, because when you take a helicopter view of movements going on, as we all know, there's a deep dissatisfaction with what's going on in the world.
One of the underpinning factors of what we're trying to do at the Hive is to use non-verbal communications as much as possible, things that are cross-cultural. And I think culture is one of the things that we should be looking at as being the vehicle by which we engage people with politics.
There's something that's gone wrong in our culture and system of planning, in that we've become somehow stuck into this adversarial relationship with the councils and the planners that should really be serving us and working with us.
Setting up housing co-ops, using community land trusts, doing self-help housing. These are all the things where I think we need to be putting our efforts.
And what I'd like to perhaps suggest and propose is that the point about those initial conversations, those conversations starting when things are still forming, those conversations that could take place in spaces such as this, and indeed others across the borough.
The word regeneration can often strike terror into the hearts of people. And understandably, given some of the high-profile failures we've seen with regeneration and the natural concern people have about communities being destroyed, public land being sold off to private companies and developers.
And it's no wonder in this context that there's a huge amount of misinformation and propaganda that surrounds planning as a medium, both from the developers but also from the community. We simply don't have the right information to go on.
For people who work in housing, work in local authorities, work in local politics, I just desperately say, let's have a campaign here to just stop the demolition of council estates.
We tax away the interest of investors by saying you're just not going to make a lot of money on this, on housing in this market. This market is about providing homes for people, not assets for investors.
The planning sector has, unfortunately, I think, become more inward-looking. If they're going to be the rock stars I'd like them to be, then I think they need to come out to spaces like this.
If you want to pass something you don't want anyone to know about, make it really boring, right?
I've done that.
There we go.
When I was at Croydon Council, we tried to produce an alternative, sort of citizen-friendly version of our local plan. So this is the official front page of the local plan, and as local plans go, it was fairly accessible and well written, I think. It started about 240 pages, we got it down to around 170, and a whole load of volunteers. We brought a sort of public, sort of fresh public perspective on it. We managed to get it down to 12 pages, and then in the end we managed to boil it down to 10 tweets. And somehow those 10 tweets said a lot more than the 170-page document that we produced beforehand.
Now we're losing office space in London, we're losing viable business spaces in London. Industrial units in London are fully occupied or being demolished because we must build more houses. And the more that we make, we must build more houses. The defining solution to our housing crisis, the more we perpetuate the problems instead of going to start solving them. Thank you.
But essentially what I mean by all of this is, as it says here, creative places, harness inventiveness and find good solutions to opportunities and problems.
There's massive grassroots movement happening, and there's lots of people lifting up in that, but it's much more difficult to get the professionals involved, or like get the professional knowledge, sort of bring it in somehow.
The principle that underpins what we're doing here is one of infrastructure. It's one to try and create an environment where resources are able to be shared more equally amongst everybody, but that can be done from tomorrow. I'm pursuing actively, I was saying this a little bit earlier on, I'm pursuing actively us acquiring a warehouse space so that we're able to take the great deals and the fantastic materials that have been donated to us, store them centrally, help another community group by giving them those materials so they can be up and running in 2 weeks for no cost as well. And then another one. So prior to the next conference, if we are successful, if we work hard, if we are enthused, if we can get these buildings, if we can spread the word, we can have 20 hives.
You're actually giving us all tools here which we can all use to better understand what goes on in planning and can take control of our lives.
We organised a day of academics and activist exchange, so trying to get housing activists and housing academics in the same room to talk about technical stuff, financial viability assessments and things.
We need a massive campaign to halt this. That is people being evicted, moved out of their homes, often out of the areas in which they live. It is completely scandalous.
I think by working much more together, as Dan finished his last presentation saying, I think we really can take control of our cities. So let's have some confidence and courage in our planners, and let's get out there and do it.
And that perhaps I would hope that our new local plan is a far more egalitarian plan, a far more sensitive plan to a community's needs.
And that's why I think, and perhaps we can talk about this, where spaces like the Hive, we're actually trying to bring them together, are really important.